The moon hung low, casting an eerie glow on the French countryside. A chill wind rustled through the tall grass. A German scouting patrol crept forward, their faces tense. They were on edge, their nerves taut. From the shadows, they heard a distant rumble. It grew louder. Tanks! The unmistakable clang of tracks on the road sent shivers down their spines. Then, voices. American voices laughing and shouting, the sound of heavy boots crunching on gravel. The Germans crouched lower, peering through the darkness. Silhouettes of tanks loomed larger, their turrets slowly swiveling. The patrol leader, his heart pounding, raised his field glasses for a closer look. What he saw made him gasp. The tanks, they were flimsy, almost transparent, the sound of engines, the voices, all faint as if coming from a distant echo. It was a phantom army conjured from the night itself. The year was 1944, the world was locked in the grip of war, and the fate of Europe hung in the balance. The Allied forces prepared for a massive push against Nazi Germany. Every day the pressure mounted as they gathered their strength for the decisive battles to come. Every soldier, every tank, every bullet counted. Supplies were precious, and the margin for error was razor thin, but resources were stretched thin. The Allies needed an edge, something unexpected. A daring plan began to form, one that would rely not on brute force but on cunning and creativity. A plan as audacious as it was unorthodox. It was the brainchild of a few visionary leaders who understood the power of deception. They would create an army of illusion, a phantom force to fool the enemy. This force would not fight with traditional weapons, but with imagination and misdirection. This was the birth of the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, the Ghost Army. A secret unit whose very existence would remain hidden for decades. This unit was unlike any other. Its ranks were filled not with hardened combat soldiers but with artists, sound engineers, designers, and radio operators. Men who had once painted canvases, designed billboards, or engineered sound for theaters, now found themselves on the front lines of deception. These were the unlikely warriors of deception. They traded paintbrushes for camouflage nets and scripts for battlefield sounds. Their creativity became their weapon, and their mission was to outwit the enemy at every turn. Their mission, to create the illusion of a much larger and more powerful force. They would make the enemy believe that entire divisions were massing where only a handful of men stood. Their weapons were not guns and grenades but inflatable tanks, sound trucks, fake radio transmissions, and sheer theatrical bravado. They staged elaborate ruses, broadcasting fake orders and moving decoy equipment under the cover of darkness. They were masters of illusion, using their creativity and ingenuity to sow confusion and mislead the enemy. In the shadows of war, the Ghost Army became legends, turning the tide not with firepower but with the art of deception. The Ghost Army's methods were a testament to their resourcefulness and ingenuity. Operating in the shadows of World War II, these men were tasked with a mission unlike any other, to create the illusion of overwhelming force where there was none. Their creativity became their greatest weapon, allowing them to outwit the enemy without ever firing a shot. Their arsenal of deception was as diverse as the talents of the men within their ranks. Artists, engineers, sound technicians and actors all worked side by side, each bringing a unique skill set to the battlefield of illusion. Inflatable tanks, jeeps and artillery pieces were crafted with meticulous detail, designed to fool enemy reconnaissance from a distance. These rubber decoys could be deployed quickly, transforming empty fields into what looked like heavily fortified positions. These decoys were surprisingly effective, especially when strategically placed under camouflage netting or in dimly lit areas. From the air or through binoculars, they were nearly indistinguishable from the real thing, sowing confusion among enemy scouts and planners. Sound, a powerful tool of psychological warfare, played a crucial role in their operations. The Ghost Army understood that what the enemy heard could be just as important as what they saw. Giant speakers mounted on trucks blasted recordings of tank engines, troop movements, and construction sounds. These audio illusions were carefully engineered, with sound engineers mixing and layering effects to match the terrain and time of day. These auditory illusions were so convincing that they could be heard for miles, tricking the Germans into believing that a large force was on the move. Enemy patrols would report the sounds of entire divisions assembling, when in reality, only a handful of men were present. The airwaves became another battleground. The Ghost Army's radio operators were masters of mimicry, able to imitate the communication styles and protocols of real combat units. Skilled radio operators sent out a constant stream of false messages, mimicking real military traffic. They even created fake call signs and invented entire backstories for their phantom units, adding layers of credibility to their ruse. They created phantom units, fabricated troop movements, and spread disinformation, keeping the enemy guessing and diverting their attention. Maps were marked with imaginary divisions, and reports were carefully crafted to mislead enemy intelligence. To complete the charade, actors disguised as high-ranking officers frequented local towns, spreading rumors and reinforcing the illusion of a large and imminent attack. Every detail, from the uniforms to the conversations, was designed to sell the story. The Ghost Army's greatest strength was their ability to make the enemy see and hear what wasn't really there. The Ghost Army's exploits spanned numerous operations across Europe, but their success at Brest stands as a shining example of their ingenuity. Tasked with holding back a much larger German force, they deployed their full arsenal of deception. Inflatable tanks lined the perimeter, sound trucks blared the sounds of an armored division, and radio operators transmitted a constant stream of phony messages, creating the illusion of a formidable force preparing for a major offensive. The German high command, fooled by this elaborate ruse, hesitated to attack. They believed they were facing a heavily armed and numerically superior enemy. Valuable time was bought, allowing Allied forces to reinforce their positions and eventually liberate the city. The Ghost Army's deception at Brest saved countless lives, and significantly contributed to the Allied advance. Their success continued throughout the war. They staged diversions during the D-Day landings, confused the enemy during the Battle of the Bulge, and facilitated the crucial Rhine River crossing. Their ability to mislead and deceive the enemy proved invaluable to the Allied war effort. Bill Blass, a young artist with dreams of fashion and creativity, found himself swept up by the tides of history and thrust into the heart of the Ghost Army during World War II. He was just one of many young men whose lives would be forever changed by the conflict, but his journey was anything but ordinary. Armed not with a rifle but with a paintbrush and an arsenal of creativity, Blass became a master of visual deception. He and his fellow artists transformed ordinary materials into extraordinary illusions, using their artistic talents as a weapon of war. He recalled long nights spent painting camouflage netting, meticulously crafting fake insignia, and designing inflatable tanks that, from a distance, looked convincingly real. These creations were more than just props. They were lifelines for the soldiers on the front lines, tools that could mean the difference between life and death. One memory stood out: the time his unit staged a fake artillery battery. The operation required careful planning, teamwork, and nerves of steel, as the success of the ruse depended on every detail being perfect. They used nothing more than carefully placed logs painted to resemble cannons, and a clever array of sound effects to mimic the thunderous roar of artillery fire. The illusion was so convincing that it fooled even the most seasoned enemy observers. The deception worked flawlessly. The Germans, believing they had discovered a real threat, wasted valuable ammunition bombarding a harmless empty field. For Blass and his unit, it was a moment of triumph, a testament to the power of imagination and ingenuity in the face of danger. Blass, like many of his comrades, understood the gravity and responsibility of their mission. They knew that every illusion they created could save lives and that failure was not an option. Though they operated behind the front lines, their work had a direct and profound impact on the soldiers who faced the enemy head-on. Their efforts provided cover, confusion, and hope in the darkest of times. The illusions they conjured saved countless lives, bought precious time for advancing troops, and ultimately played a crucial role in the Allied victory. Their creativity became a silent force on the battlefield. After the war, Blass returned to his passion for design, channeling the discipline and inventiveness he learned in the Ghost Army into a celebrated career as a renowned fashion designer. His wartime experiences shaped his artistry and vision for years to come. Yet no matter how far he traveled or how much he achieved, he never forgot his time in the Ghost Army. The memories of those days, of camaraderie, courage, and creativity under fire, remained with him always, a unique and impactful chapter in a remarkable life. For decades after the war, the Ghost Army's exploits remained shrouded in secrecy. Their missions were classified, their contributions largely unknown to the public. The soldiers, sworn to secrecy, carried their stories silently, their role in the war a hidden chapter in history. It wasn't until the declassification of their records in the 1990s that the full extent of their deception and their impact on the war effort came to light. Their story, once hidden in the shadows, finally emerged, captivating the imagination of historians, military strategists, and the public alike. In recent years, the Ghost Army has finally received the recognition it deserves. Veterans of the unit have been awarded the Congressional Gold Medal, the highest civilian honor bestowed by the United States Congress. Documentaries and books have chronicled their story, ensuring that their legacy of ingenuity and courage will not be forgotten. The Ghost Army's story underscores the power of creativity and imagination, even in the midst of war. These soldiers, armed with their wits and their artistic talents, challenged conventional military thinking. They proved that deception, when executed with skill and ingenuity, could be a weapon as potent as any tank or artillery piece. Their inflatable tanks, sound effects, and phantom radio signals were more than just clever tricks. They were a testament to the power of lateral thinking and the unexpected advantages it can yield in conflict. They demonstrated that art, often seen as a pursuit of peace, could play a vital role in war, albeit in an unconventional way. The Ghost Army's legacy extends beyond their wartime exploits. Their story serves as a reminder that innovation and creativity can emerge from the most unexpected places, even in the crucible of war. Their ability to adapt, to think outside the box, and to use their unique skills to deceive the enemy proved invaluable to the Allied war effort. The Ghost Army's legacy continues to resonate today, not just in the annals of military history, but also in the fields of art, design, and creative problem-solving. Their story highlights the importance of adaptability, innovation, and the willingness to challenge conventional wisdom. In a world facing complex challenges, their ingenuity serves as a source of inspiration. Their story reminds us that sometimes the most effective solutions are not the most obvious ones. It encourages us to embrace creativity, to think differently, and to harness the power of illusion and deception, not for malicious purposes, but for positive change. The Ghost Army's story is a testament to the human capacity for ingenuity, resilience, and the unwavering belief in the power of creativity to overcome even the most daunting challenges. The story of the Ghost Army challenges our perceptions of war and the tools used to wage it. It forces us to acknowledge that art, in its many forms, can be a powerful weapon, capable of shaping perceptions, influencing decisions, and ultimately saving lives. The legacy of these soldier artists serves as a potent reminder of the enduring power of creativity, even in the darkest of times. Their story, once hidden in the shadows of history, now stands as a testament to the enduring human spirit, the triumph of ingenuity, and the unexpected ways in which art can shape the course of history. Their story is a testament to the power of human ingenuity and the importance of creative thinking in overcoming seemingly insurmountable challenges. The Ghost Army reminds us that sometimes the most effective weapons are not the ones that inflict the most damage, but the ones that challenge our perceptions and make us question what we think we know.